Welcome to Ageless by Rescu. This podcast is devoted to exploring the science of rejuvenation, uncovering the most trusted experts, the must-have products, innovations, and technology in the field of vitality, aesthetics, new beauty, and cosmetic enhancement. I'm so delighted to introduce you to a friend from at least 22 years ago, Mathilde Thomas, the co-founder of Caudalie, a quintessential icon for French chic, and a really scientifically focused woman who really put Vinothérapie on the map of the world. Welcome to Ageless by Rescu, Mathilde. I'm so happy to see you.
Bonjour, Bahar. I'm super happy to see you too. It's been a while.
It has been a while. So I want to share with our listeners the story of how I discovered the magic of Caudalie. I was reading in a Qantas magazine about a spa in Bordeaux that used Vinothérapie as the basis for their treatments. And by Vinothérapie, it was all of the byproducts of making wines, because your family, of course, have a very prestigious vineyard in Bordeaux. And so you were studying, I think, when you discovered what the byproducts of making great wines can do for the beauty industry.
We actually met a doctor from the University of Pharmacy with whom we were touring the family wine estate, Chateau Smith Haut Lafitte in Bordeaux, France. And this professor, his name is Joseph Vercauteren, stopped in front of the big vat full of grape seeds, and he told us that we were trashing treasures. He told us that those precious seeds contain the most powerful antioxidant produced by nature, called polyphenols. And that was the beginning of the Caudalie story. We did partner with this researcher, and we've been working with him and his team and the University of Pharmacy for 25 years.
You know, what's really interesting to me is that the Caudalie story has always been based in science of longevity, vitality, joie de vivre, and beauty. And the French do this combination so exquisitely well. And so it makes, perfect sense that from a very prestigious vineyard comes an exquisitely beautiful product. But you didn't make it as a luxury product. Caudalie was made for everyone to enjoy.
Well, we met a scientist from the University of Pharmacy. So he was a pharmacist, and we decided that it would be more simple to sell the product in this fantastic retail network that are the French pharmacies, where you find very effective product at super reasonable price. And here in France, that's where all the prescriptions are made. You can get them in pharmacy. So it made sense. And it's true that the first pharmacy opened because they had the professor as a teacher. Because no one knew about our products, and they say, okay, we'll take your products, we'll try. That's how it started.
So tell me what the meaning of Caudalie. It's a wine terminology, isn't it?
Yes. Next time you drink a glass of wine, you swallow the wine and you count the Caudalie. It's like a second in your mouth. It's actually the aftertaste of the wine taste in your palate. And the more Caudalie a wine has, the better it is.
You have a huge respect for the research that you've done, and I've got a huge respect for the research that you've continued to do as you've developed the brand. Let's talk about polyphenols as a starting point, because when it comes to Ageless, one of the things that I've always tried to do is to tell the story of longevity and vitality in a fully immersive way. In Australia, at least, there was no other media platform that spoke about longevity, beauty, vitality from all of the different touch points that people discover that they would like to have more of it in their lives. So it can be from health to lifestyle changes, to sleep, to the products we ingest, to what we put on our skin. And that's that's been your experience. And so, you know, the story of polyphenols and resveratrol is really from that internal concept of beauty, and beauty being health and vitality and cellular health. So what do the polyphenols that are, you know, the basis of the scientific and the formulations of Caudalie, what do they do?
Actually, they stop oxidation, they stop free radicals. And free radicals, they are the ones that turn fruit brown, that rust cars, and that are responsible of 4 out of 5 wrinkles. So 80% of aging is because of those free radicals, because of oxidation. And if you can stop this very fast moving process, that means that hopefully you will look younger longer. So that's what we did when we started Caudalie. We started with some dietary supplements and also with a moisturizer that were very concentrated in polyphenols, antioxidant polyphenols.
And you know, you really were ahead of the game, because 25 years ago, when you started with ingestibles, taking antioxidants was kind of, maybe people took vitamin C, maybe people took, you know, a little bit of antioxidants, but they really weren't doing it from a beauty perspective. They were doing it as an additional vitamin to take. But now we know, I mean, an ingestible science and beauty, it goes hand in hand. Anyone who's really serious about anti-aging, anyone who's really serious about skin health is absolutely invested in ingestibles as well. So you took that understanding, and that the free radicals are responsible for such a huge amount of damage and breaking down of skin health and organ health. And then you developed, you know, you went from one topical cream to an entire brand that was dedicated to this science. What else have you learned along the way in exploring the partnership between, you know, free radical damage and anti-aging?
What I've learned with the University of Pharmacy is all about research. First, I learned about those very powerful antioxidant polyphenols. And then a few years after, Professor Vercauteren told us there's this particular polyphenol called resveratrol that you should look at, because it's probably the explanation of the French paradox. The fact that French people have less cardiovascular disease because they drink a glass of red wine during their meal, and because the wine is loaded with resveratrol. So we looked at this resveratrol, and this is how we launched this collection called Resveratrol Lift. And resveratrol is very interesting because on the skin, it's going to firm and lift the skin. And if you ingest it, it's fantastic because it's going to boost your sirtuins, that are proteins of longevity.
Now, we just discovered that we both, well, you definitely more deeply than me, but follow the research of Professor David Sinclair, who's an Australian scientist. Yes. Who moved to head up an anti-aging unit at Harvard University. And his incredible work, incredible book Lifespan, is pretty much the reason I launched Ageless, because I started practicing everything that he prescribed and taught and explained in the book. And I saw a remarkable change in my own life. I slept better. I looked better. Exactly. Show the book cover. Yeah. So, I mean, I listened to the book, I own the book, but really more than anything else, I put it to practice. And one of the key things that he speaks about is taking a resveratrol supplement. Even though you do the intermittent fasting, you can take some supplements, and one of them is resveratrol. So I'm curious to know how you've been working with Professor Sinclair.
As we've always been the specialist of polyphenols and then resveratrol. Resveratrol, we launched our first product with resveratrol back in 2000. So of course, the Professor Vercauteren with whom we were working was looking at all the publications worldwide. And one brilliant young scientist at Harvard Medical School was David Sinclair, and he published in the early 2000s that we could live longer, younger by eating resveratrol, as you just said. And in my life, I moved to New York from 2010 to 2015. And when I was living in New York with my family to grow Caudalie there, I actually took the train to Boston and decided I would meet Dr. David Sinclair, because I've been following what he was doing and I was very much impressed by his work. So we had lunch together. I explained him what I was doing with Caudalie and he explained me his work. And this is how we started the partnership. I was very lucky because his wife was using Caudalie and knew about our stabilized resveratrol. So he respected also our work. And so it has been a fantastic opportunity. And we've been co-filing patents. And you can see on our boxes, it's written Caudalie times Harvard University. So that's the co-filed patent that we take with Dr. Sinclair and team. And we're very proud about that because he's really on the cutting edge of what's next. And he's the longevity guru of anti-aging.
He is the longevity king. He's absolutely the longevity guru. But let's talk about French lifestyle, because I remember when I first met you, I was, of course, blown away by the products, but also your family. And, you know, I've had the pleasure of staying with your parents at Bordeaux and being a guest of theirs at the spa and at the vineyard. I've met your sister who runs, I think, the original Caudalie spa. I've met your husband and children. And what is most impressive, and what I always take away with me in the time that we worked together and we knew each other, is there is a simplicity and elegance to the way that your family, certainly, with all of your success and international, experience, live. And I moved to Paris when I was, I think, 26, 27, because I was born in France and I always wanted to go back to France. And that was the thing that I always take away with me, that, you know, there are a lot of cultures that really admire artifice, and being extra is part of the vernacular and the thing that is most admired. But the French are the exact opposite. And the more elegant the French woman is, or the French man is, or the French family is, the less they show off, the less they do. And I think that philosophy is really embedded into the products of Caudalie and what you do. What do you think it is about the French culture that you've appropriated and, you know, infused into the DNA of Caudalie?
My vision for this brand since day one, so for the past 26 years, has always been to create the most effective products, because we were born, because we met with a scientist. So the most effective products, but then in very clean and natural formulas. We were clean before clean was cool at Caudalie. And also, I want this brand to be a leader in sustainability.
What steps have you taken? Because again, you know, you were first by using the byproducts of what the wine industry was essentially throwing away. What are the other sustainable steps that you've kind of embedded into the brand, and what you're looking at as the future of sustainability and beauty?
Alors, first, I take a great care of my formulas, and there's a list of 60 ingredients that you'll never see in Caudalie's formula, either because they are not clean for your skin, potential endocrine disruptor, or potential irritating, or not clean for the planet. And then I make sure that there is minimum 95% natural ingredients, and that the formula are highly biodegradable. And then for the packaging, we have a team of green packaging engineers, and we make sure that all the packaging are either in recycled materials, or are created to be recyclable, or are refillable. Wow. So we also try to use less plastic. And then we are very committed as a brand. We belong to the 1% for the planet since 2012. That makes Caudalie the first contributor of the 1% for the planet worldwide in the cosmetic business. That means we give back 1% of our sales. We decided to plant trees, and so far we've planted more than 8 million trees.
Wow.
Potentially compensating 4 times our carbon footprint. And then we decided that we would be plastic neutral, even though I don't like to say that, but I'm not proud to use plastic, but sometimes I have no choice. So I decided that I would collect the same amount of plastic that the one that we use at Caudalie. And we do that in Thailand. We recycle it locally and we offer it to local population under the form of bricks or gasoline for their infrastructure. So yeah,
so you're deeply committed to this. It's not just an add-on. One of the things that
see 1% for the planet. Oops, and then 100% plastic collect.
What do you think when there is that debate between the efficacy of natural and clean products and cosmeceutical grade products?
I think that clean and natural should be the icing on the cake. I think it's mandatory. You need to do it, but clean and natural doesn't mean effective. So my obsession and my top priority is to invest in research and to find unique molecules that are skin problem solvers. And then once I have those very, very effective molecules, either with Harvard Medical School or with the University of Pharmacy, I build with my team a formula around that is clean and natural.
What do you think? In terms of trend, we're right in the heart of moving towards clean beauty, and certainly Australia has a huge appetite for clean beauty. We're, a country that really loves and respects our natural surroundings and resources, and there's a huge movement towards sustainability and clean beauty, and an awareness of what we put on our largest organ, which is our skin, is going to affect everything. What do you see with your research as the trend when it comes to ingredients where natural and clean can deliver the same levels of efficacy as what was previously only attainable with a more chemically derived ingredient profile?
No, I would say you need biotech ingredients, synthetic ingredients to achieve effectiveness. I love to use niacinamide, for example. Niacinamide is a clean ingredient, but it's 100% non-natural. But it's super effective for the skin. There are plenty of ingredients like glycolic acid. I don't find any good stabilized glycolic acid that are natural, and yet I love glycolic acid. When I can use a natural hyaluronic acid, I'll choose the natural hyaluronic. When I can use a natural salicylic acid, that's the one I will use. But sometimes I have no choice, and I always favor what's the best for your skin. And of course, it has to be clean, but it's not always natural.
And in terms of the progress that you've made with the range, what are the hero standout products or rituals that you have really seen take over from what you maybe originally started with? Because I remember, the #1 seller in Australia originally was the beauty elixir, which has got a beautiful story from the Queen of Hungary, a recipe that, and to me, it was the very first of the essences too.
True. Sorry. It's early morning interest. So yeah, the beauty elixir is still a very big seller in Australia and in the US. Yet in Europe, it's only for journalists, celebrities, makeup artists. The rest of the people don't know about this product. That is a very unique product because it's a multitasking mist that you put to prep and set makeup and to glow. But no, the absolute bestseller of Caudalie worldwide is this one. It's called Vinothérapie serum.
I know Vinothérapie. I love Vinothérapie. The gentlest, safest way to treat pigmentation.
Exactly. And Vinothérapie serum is fantastic because it works on all dark spots and on all skin types, no matter if you have a very fair skin or a very dark skin. And it's gentle. Even if you're pregnant, you can use it. It's sun safe. I believe that's why we have 50% of the market share in France with this product. And yeah, it's the best seller everywhere.
And in terms of your own rituals, what is your own beauty and wellness ritual? I'm sure you've learned a few tips and tricks from Professor Sinclair. I'd love to know how your ageless rituals.
in terms of general health habits, I try to stay active, of course. Professor Sinclair told me to buy this Oura.
The Oura ring? Yeah.
And so I make sure that I bike. I live in Paris. I'm fortunate enough to be able to bike to the office, so at least I exercise a little bit. And then we have great yoga teacher that comes at the office during lunchtime. So I try to do yoga 3 times a week. And then I like Dr. Sinclair, I try to skip my breakfast or sometimes my dinner. He likes intermittent fasting. I take my Caudalie dietary supplement with resveratrol in it. Try to eat a lot of greens. Try to avoid red meat. So everybody knows what we're supposed to do. It's just not easy to do.
And what about for your skin? Do you have treatments? Do you indulge in any clinical treatments? Have you tried Botox? Do you take fillers? What's your view on that?
I'm not a huge fan of Botox because I believe that Botox will work for 3 months and then whoops, it's gone. And when you do Botox, it shows. So I'm not a huge fan. I'd rather put a great SPF 50 every single day and make sure that I don't go under the sun and wear antioxidants every single day and try to have live a healthy life and get a good amount of sleep. So no, this one is a great secret because it brightens, it evens the skin tone, and I love this one. And then the new one that we are going to launch in a few months is fantastic. It's called Premier Cru, and that's the product that I would bring on a deserted island because it has all the Caudalie technology. It's all in one and done.
And what about the mask that blew up on TikTok and just went crazy? Tell me about that.
That was crazy. Yes, it was because of a Canadian content creator called Glamzilla, and she took over this. She actually on TikTok, she did teach a video that had been done by Look Fantastic in the UK. And she just zoomed in on a pore. It's our clay mask, our fantastic detox clay mask that we've had for years that works super well to absorb all the impurities and minimize pores. And she was just good with it. She knew the brand. She talked well about it. She was very engaging. She zoomed in, everybody saw her pore, and then the mask was seen 100 million times on TikTok. And we were out of stock everywhere in the world. The power of social media, the power of TikTok.
And in terms of as a brand, how have you developed? Are you still, I know that you've opened Caudalie boutiques around the world. I know that you have a number of spas. I'd love for you to share with us the concept behind the Vinothérapie spas.
Now, Vinothérapie Spa was created back in 1999. We invented Vinothérapie Spa because my parents were opening this beautiful hotel, Les Sources de Caudal in Bordeaux. And when I learned that they were going to open 30 rooms, I told them, okay, hold on. You keep one room for me because I have masks, I have scrubs, and we are going to do a facial. And at the same time, we were contacted by American in Napa who had seen that we had those grapeseed polyphenol products, and they were opening a spa in Napa, and they say, oh, we need your products because you're the only one with grape seeds. And this is how the idea of Vinothérapie came about. We said, okay, we should use the grape byproducts to do treatments that are very unique. And we discovered that we had a natural spring of water. So Vinothérapie is the use of this natural spring of water with grapevine ingredients for very unique treatments such as the crushed Cabernet scrub, the pulp friction massage, and all the facial with the Caudalie products.
It is one of the most gorgeous places in the world. One of my fondest memories is being on a bicycle around the property and then coming in to have an incredible meal, which was a calorie control meal that you wouldn't know because I think it was a Michelin-starred restaurant that you had on the property. Is that correct?
It was 2 Michelin star and it's still 2 Michelin star, but it's another chef. Right?
Yes. So it was called the Cuisine Mensuelle. So you could have diet food. It was, I think, under 500 calories. It was the most incredible meal with an incredible glass of wine. And then off to the Caudalie Spa I went and had the crushed Cabernet scrub. And then I got to swim in the beautiful pool, which had your spring water in it.
Yes, yeah, still the same.
How many spas do you have now?
We decided that we would open boutiques. Spa is very complicated, so we don't have much spa. We have one spa at Marquès de Riscal in Spain, and that's it. And no, we have one in Portugal, in Porto, also in the beautiful Relais Chateau. But for the rest, we have boutiques where we have treatment rooms, and they are within cities. So I hope that we'll have one in Australia one day.
If you waved your magic wand and said, you know, I would like to see the beauty industry move into this area, what would it look like?
I think we have the beauty industry has a real problem with plastic. So the magic wand would be to invent a plastic that is indefinitely recyclable. That's a big problem. And then in the beauty industry, they should stop using paraben, phenoxyethanol, phthalates, mineral oil derived from petrochemicals, sulfate, phthalates, plenty of ingredients that I ban, silicone, pegs, microplastics, and I see them everywhere, and I hope they will disappear soon. But the consumer are smarter and smarter, and now they don't need a dictionary and a magnifying glass to read the inky list anymore because of all those apps that exist. So hopefully the beauty industry will change fast.
And I'm sure this is, you know, you've been asked this before, but who first inspired you to enjoy the beauty industry or beauty products? Do you have a first memory of trying skincare and being enthralled with it, or were you someone that came to it later in life?
I would say that the person that inspired me most was Jacques Paul, who was the perfumer of Chanel. And I was in my school and I was asked to go and interview my hero, and I knocked on Chanel door, and I was very much impressed because at the time I wanted to work in the essential oil and fragrance business, and he was really my true hero, and that's where I wanted to work all my life. And then I met this doctor from the University of Pharmacy, so we changed a little bit the path, but it's still the beauty industry.
And what's it like to work with your husband and your family and your parents and your sister?
I actually only work with my husband because we created Caudalie together. My parents are in the wine business, and my sister and my brother-in-law are in the hotel business. So I really work every single day with my husband. What is it like? It's great. It's great because I trust him completely. We've been doing that for 26 years. And we don't have the same field of expertise. I'm more on the product development side, on the research, on the content creation, and he's more on the development, sales, organization of the company. So,
well, it is such a pleasure to see you after such a long time. I'm really proud to have been the first person to introduce Caudalie to Australia all those years ago. And I'm so delighted and proud to know you, a huge pioneer in the beauty industry. And I can't wait to see what you do next, because really the methodical step-by-step development of this brand and the way that it's been accepted and loved globally is really testament to the way that you and Bertrand really have committed to it. It's never been a marketing brand. It's never been you know, a gimmicky brand. It's just been something that's been developed as a perfect partnership of science and nature. And you've brought so much beauty and joy to so many people.
Thank you so much, Bahar. It's very nice to see you. I hope that next time I see you in Australia, I can't wait to come take a plane and go to Australia.
You are warmly invited. I can't wait to return the hospitality.
Thank you, and hope to see you soon.
See you soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please share and rate this episode. I'd love that.